Hello everyone, Norma Woodcock speaking to you from Perth in Western Australia. Happy Easter. I want to speak into the Sunday of the Resurrection, Year A. And the theme, of course, this is the theme, He is risen. In John's Gospel we hear the story of Mary of Magdala and the empty tomb. And Mary went to the tomb with spices to embalm his dead body. I'd say this is one of my most favourite scriptures and most favourite meditations I've ever done, because something like 36, 37 years ago, this was the first Ignatian imaginative meditation I ever was led in by a Jesuit priest, Father John Prendeville, who has been an amazing help in my ministry and proof listens to my CDs and has written on them in the past. But when I went into this Ignatian imaginative meditation, I expected a dead Jesus. I think in my intellect I knew he was risen, but I still had a little girl somehow tied up in the dead Jesus image. But when I did this meditation, I found an empty tomb. There was no one in there as I went and looked around. It was just amazing. St. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 15:14, if Christ had not been raised, then our preaching is useless, and your believing it is useless. I want to read a story, a nun's story, to illustrate this fact. A few weeks before Easter, the father of a pupil at the convent school, while burning some branches in his back garden, accidentally set fire to himself and died as a result of his burns. The family went into shock. The wife couldn't go into the garden. She couldn't even look out the window at the garden. Days passed and Easter came. The nun visited them on Easter Sunday and was greeted with peace and even joy. What happened was this. That morning, the woman's sister and a neighbour asked the woman to go into the garden to get some fresh air. The woman almost became hysterical at the thought, but they insisted as they felt it would help her. As they walked slowly to the place the fire had happened, the woman's body began to shake. She said to the nun as she was explaining this story, "Suddenly," she said, "I don't know how or from where the words of the gospel came to me. Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here, he is risen." And at that moment, she said, it was as if a heavy load was lifted off my back, and I felt a great sense of peace and joy. Beautiful story to illustrate what happened that first Easter morning. This is our faith. And I want you this week to rejoice, because not only is he risen, but he has also gained the power to help you to rise day by day, week by week, month by month, from whatever there was in your journey that you thought you would never ever overcome, never ever find life in, never ever. Here is this power now available to us that has transformed me and is continuing to transform me from the inside out. Truly, truly, if he hadn't risen, all our preaching would have been in vain, and my 40 years of ministry in this church would have been useless. But it hasn't been, and he has risen, and I know that there is available to you the power of the risen Lord. Happy Easter, have a wonderful week, and I look forward to meeting with you again next week. Many blessings to you and your family.